When it comes to memories, why do we remember the bad things that have happened to us more so than the good? This is a question that has puzzled scientists and philosophers alike since the dawn of time. It is an important question to ask because it can help us to understand why we feel the way we do and how to better cope with the negative memories. Throughout history, people have tried to explain why we remember the bad more than the good. Early explanations of this phenomenon suggested that it was a way of protecting ourselves from further harm. This idea was based on the belief that if we remembered the bad, we would be more likely to avoid similar situations in the future. Other theories suggest that remembering the bad is a form of self-preservation, allowing us to remember the dangers that we have faced in the past and be better prepared for them in the future. More recent theories have suggested that our memories are shaped by our emotions. When we experience a negative emotion, it is more likely to be stored in our memory. This is because our brains are wired to pay more attention to negative emotions than positive ones. This is because our brains are designed to pay attention to threats and dangers in our environment. This means that when we experience an emotion such as fear or anger, our brains are more likely to store it in our memories. Another explanation for why we remember the bad more than the good is because of the way our brains process information. Studies have found that when we experience a negative emotion, our brains are more likely to process the information in a deeper and more detailed way. This means that we are more likely to remember the bad more than the good. It is also important to note that our memories are shaped by our environment and the people around us. Our memories are influenced by our culture, our upbringing, and our relationships. If we are surrounded by people who focus on the negative aspects of life, then it is more likely that our memories will be shaped by this perspective. Similarly, if we are surrounded by people who focus on the positive aspects of life, then our memories will likely be shaped in a more positive way. Finally, it is important to consider the role of our own personal biases when it comes to remembering the bad. We all have our own views and beliefs about the world, and these can influence the way we remember our experiences. For example, if we have a negative view of a certain situation, then we are more likely to remember the negative aspects of it. Similarly, if we have a positive view of a certain situation, then we are more likely to remember the positive aspects of it. In conclusion, there are many theories as to why we remember the bad more than the good. Ultimately, it boils down to the way our brains are wired to pay more attention to negative emotions, the way we process information, the influence of our environment and the people around us, and our own personal biases. It is important to be aware of these factors in order to better understand why we remember the bad more than the good and to be better able to cope with the negative memories.